Yeah, good morning guys and welcome. Up on the screen, the Big Wheels profit and loss. Yeah, Boss Hogg uploaded his first quarter of 2024 profit and loss video. And before we start, I just wanted to say this. How that man can sit there with a straight face and think that people actually care whether he makes a profit or not, whether he's got an audience of thousands sitting on the edge of their seat, listening to every word he says, it's just beyond belief. He actually thinks he's Mr. Important. Now, his video was 20 minutes long, and we couldn't play all the bullshit that he was talking about, but what we've done is we've picked out the important parts, the best parts, to bring you some idea of how this big wheel businessman operates, and what are his expectations, and exactly how much profit did he make. So without further ado, I'm going to play you a clip, and like every Boss Hogg video, he always starts off with a quote. Listen to the brain surgeon.
Hello everyone, welcome to Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. Well, it's the much anticipated, well, marginally anticipated, but much overdue. So there are some things better in this quarter and some things not quite so much. And it's substantially less profit than we made in the fourth quarter of last year.
Can you believe that? The much anticipated profit and loss video, he says, but then he changes his mind and says, well, marginally. Yeah, you need to check yourself there, Brian, because no one cares. No one really cares. And he started off by saying, or warning people, that some things are good and some things are not so good, and profits are down. But there's more, guys. Listen to the brain surgeon.
Production was down slightly, expenses were way up. So, you know, it's no secret we're not where we need to be production-wise on this farm. And that's why we're really, really digging in and doing everything we can to make this farm produce its maximum.
So, you heard him. Production was down, but expenses was way up. And that's the first sign that he's going to start pleading poverty. And in the 6 years, Brian, you've been in the Philippines, you've never had full production, but you sat there after 6 years saying, we need to get there, yet again saying it. And another thing, if you watch him, he's sat there and he's squirming in his seat. He cannot sit still because he's lying through his teeth. He is squirming in that chair. But there is more, guys, and it's going to get worse. Listen to the bullshit.
I'm going to say a little bit about the bananas right now, even before I get the numbers. You know, I don't know. I'm disappointed in the bananas because they're just not producing like what I thought they would be at this point. They're producing, they're basically labor free, but they're just not, you know, when I talked to Tatay about them like a year ago, I thought we would be getting 30,000, 40,000 pesos a month from the bananas. We're just not. We're not getting anything anywhere near close to that. I've talked to Tatay, and he doesn't, you know, he doesn't have a real answer as to why we're not. And if he doesn't have the answer, well, then of course I won't either.
Can you believe that? A few months ago, it was squash and bananas. Bananas will save the day. And they went hell for leather planting bananas in every spare bit of field they could find. And all of a sudden, the bananas are not producing. And immediately, Boss Hogg threw Tatai under the bus. Tatai said this, he doesn't know what's happening, and if Tatai doesn't know what's happening, then I certainly don't, he says. So, it's Tatai's fault. The bananas are not producing. But there's more. Listen to the absolute bullshit.
But everything else is coming along according to plan. Anyway, here goes. So these are the numbers for January, February, and March of this year, and yeah, I'm 6 days late. Squash sales for the first quarter were 41,268 pesos. 19,420 pesos on the bananas. So yeah, look, I mean, you know, that is something. I mean, that's money. So total expenses for this quarter are 35,688 pesos. That's a bunch. So as things turned out, we got a nice round, even number for profit for this first quarter, and that is 25,000 pesos even. 25,000 net profit in a quarter. That's, what is that, that's about 8,000 pesos a month, somewhere in there. You know, not great, but it's a whole lot better than nothing. And it's a whole lot better than what the next quarter is going to be.
So after listening to all the figures, that farm in 3 months made about $35 profit per week. Not enough to cover his ciggies and Love Loves Wine. Never mind feeding them. But a foreigner farmer in the Philippines, Brian Granville Smith, is farming for profit. That's what his channel's supposed to be all about. But guys, he's let the cat out the bag about his failing farm, $35 a week, and he now moves on to forecast the next 12 months. And he's talking now about the squash.
Going into the next quarter, our sales are going to be way down, because we're not going to be getting very many squash at all, because all those fields, all of them, have to be replanted within the next month. So, and it's going to take 2 to 3 months before we start harvesting from those. So we're going to have hardly any squash sales in the next quarter's numbers. We're going to be relying pretty much on the bananas. And
at the beginning of this video, I did say he's going to start pleading poverty. And there you have it. For the next quarter, there will be no squash sales. The squash fields need to be replanted. And he's proved us right on this channel. When we called him out about the fields, he's never been anywhere near them. He's not done any farming. Those fields would take months to recover. And his words, 3 months before we can harvest. And he's going to be relying on bananas. And he's already told us the bananas are failed. So, what's next, Brian? Well, he starts talking about tilapia. Listen to this load of bullshit.
And, excuse me, we're starting up the tilapia again. And we're not going to see any return on the tilapia for 6 months. and probably won't see any year-over-year profit on those for another 6 months after that. Hopefully the tilapia in the 6 months after that, in the 2 quarters after that, will be showing a net profit. If they're not, then we'll just stop doing the tilapia again.
Can you believe that's a brain surgeon? Right? He's resurrected the tilapia, and his words, they're not going to see any profit, if there's any profit, for at least 12 months. Now that is what you call a first-class business plan, Brian. Farming for profit in the Philippines, and this big fat lump of lard loser starts tilapia again, where he lost money in the past. The fields are not ready, the bananas have failed, there's going to be no more squash harvest for at least 3 months. So, as I said, he's pleading poverty. And he just happened to slip in that if the tilapia are not profitable, we'll just stop doing tilapia. Yeah, like you did the last time, Brian. You've resurrected this again, and you know for a fact that it's going to fail. So guys, after listening to all the crap that he came out with, what have we learned, if anything? Well, we've learned nothing about farming for profit, that's for sure. Not from this swamp side. But one thing we did learn is that after 6 years in the Philippines, this loser is never going to make a profit, because he's an absolute swamptard. Hasn't got a clue about farming, never was a farmer, and he's not a businessman. He's going to lead people along like he has done for the last 6 years with his bullshit and his crap and his predictions of making a profit maybe in 6 months or 12 months, and nothing ever happens. He's abandoned those fields for months now, and we've called him out, and he sat on his arse making a profit and loss video. That tells you everything you need to know about Brian Granville Smith, the con man, the grifter, and to sit there with a straight face and make out he's Mr. Important just says everything about him. He's a grifter. So guys, till the next time, bye for now.
Just crack-a-lackin'.